Hello! Welcome to Cellar Chef Wine Club. This is our first ever official shipment. We are doing Pinot Noir for the month of November. I really want to take a second to thank you guys for joining my wine club, and I'm so thankful for each and every one of you, and I'm very excited on where this is going to go. And I hope you like each one of these wines just as much as I did. It's officially fall here in Southern California, which means Thanksgiving is coming up. And Pinot Noir is one of those wines that I always have on my table for the holidays. It's so food friendly and is a great crowd pleaser. If you are blind tasting these, don't go any further in this video. Come back later. I've got an amazing lineup to share with you, but first let's talk about glasses. I've got 3 different types of glasses here. If you don't have this, don't worry about it. We've got a white wine glass, which is great for lighter bodied wines. We've got the typical red wine glass, and we have a burgundy glass. It doesn't matter too much, so don't stress if you don't have all of these, but if you do, we're going to use the burgundy glass for this tasting. The first wine I want to share with you is Evening Land 7 Springs Pinot Noir. This Pinot Noir comes from 40-year-old vines up in Oregon, and it's made by Raj Par and Sashi Morriman, who are 2 of my favorite winemakers in the world. They dedicate everything they do to make sure they preserve the soil that their vines grow in and all of the surrounding areas, to make sure that it has nutrients, and they're taking care of the earth, which I really like. And they really want to take a hands-off approach in all of this. They want you to taste a sense of place in their wine, and so they use neutral oak in this wine, so it adds a little bit of texture and complexity without adding a lot of times those overwhelming spice notes. I would normally continue to open this bottle with my wine key. However, because it is 10 o'clock in the morning when I'm filming this, I'm going to use a Corvin. This nifty little device allows me to take out a small amount of wine by pushing a needle through the cork, keeping it intact and sealed for next time. Give your glass a swirl, bringing out all of those ripe, juicy fruit aromas, and enjoy this Evening Land 7 Springs Pinot Noir from Oregon. Moving on to France, we are tasting Marange Rouge Premier Cru La Foussière. Ignore my French. This Pinot Noir is actually from the highest elevation in Marange in Burgundy, France. Burgundy is known for Pinot Noir and Chardonnay, so they are one of the original homes of this grape. And this wine in particular is from 40-year-old vines, and it's grown in red clay and chalky soil, and that chalky soil gives it a little bit of backbone and minerality that you wouldn't find elsewhere. I do think this wine has a small amount of oak, but combined with stainless steel aging as well, it is very well balanced. You're not going to be overwhelmed by those oak spices, and I just think this is a really, really good wine. When I tasted this wine, I tasted it side by side with another one from the same producer that was much, much, much more expensive, and I actually liked this one better, so I'm so excited to be able to share this with you guys. I hope you like this one just as much as I did. Moving down to New Zealand, we are going to Mahi. Mahi means our work, our craft, and they really do take pride in the grapes that they grow and the wine that they make. And let's talk about screw caps for a second. Just because a wine has a screw cap does not mean it is cheap. Most wine made in New Zealand and Australia use screw caps, regardless of the price point. Just want to throw that out there. Also, if you're wondering how that works with the Corvin, they actually make a special little cap to put on there. And you just take off the screw cap, replace it with the Corvin screw cap, and then use your Corvin like normal. This wine spent a little more time on oak than the others, about 15 months in French oak. And It does have a little bit of subtle spice to it, but again, it's not overwhelming. It's very complex and rich and well-rounded. I think this would be such a good one to put on your table for Thanksgiving. You could even serve it with a little chill on it during summertime if it's hot, because it is so light and refreshing. Let me know what you think about this Pinot Noir from New Zealand. Now we're headed to Central California into Santa Rita Hills. Story of Soil is a fantastic little winery located in Los Olivos, California. They've got a great little tasting room there surrounded by dozens of other wineries and great restaurants. They purchase their grapes from surrounding vineyards, so they don't actually own a vineyard themselves. And they take those grapes and tell a story of where it's from. This Pinot Noir in particular is one of my favorites on earth. I served this wine during Friendsgiving last year and everybody loved it. And I was able to get it for this wine club. So I'm very excited to share this one with you guys. The story of the soil is really interesting. The vineyard is grown in mostly clay and sediment and shale, but the soil also has fossilized ocean skeletons, which they call diatomaceous earth if you want to get scientific. But I think that's really cool. Let me know what you think about the wine and the recipe if you make it. And follow us on social media, Cellar Chef Wine Club on Instagram. Thank you guys. Cheers.